what would be your bit of advice, your last bit of advice to someone who's one, either suffering and contemplating a plant-based diet, or what would be your advice to someone in this type of situation most Americans are?
Watch out for the false flags. And so let me list out the false flags here that I had to learn by mistake, by making all these mistakes. So one are oils, especially like processed oils, right? So stuff like canola, generic vegetable oil, all these seed oils. You know, it's one thing to cold press like olives and get virgin sort of olive oil. It's a whole other thing if you actually look at the videos of how these vegetable oils are made. There's nothing about them that is natural. And that's, if you go to a restaurant and you order French fries, you think you're having like vegan French fries cooked in vegetable oil, but that oil is straight up pure toxic for you. That's, you really should not be having that. So even though you think you may be vegan, but the oil layer is a very important layer, especially if they're deep frying something, right? A tiny, tiny bit of oil is really what you're trying to go for. But if you go to a restaurant, it's anything but tiny. And so that's a false flag. Another one I found is, you know, all the vegan label stuff. So Beyond Meat, like all the meat alternatives, all the milk alternatives, cheese alternatives. At this point, you can find vegan for anything in the supermarket. And generally, they're all bad for you. Some exceptions maybe, but generally speaking, that whole category that we're going to make something taste like an animal product, but it's really not an animal product, needs to be avoided. Because then again, you think, oh, I'm vegan. I had Impossible Burger instead of a beef burger, and I felt worse. So vegan diet must suck. That's generally how that thinking goes. I would say the third false flag in my experience has been feeling like you need to compromise on taste. And this one took me a long time to figure out because, look, meat does not have much flavor unless you truly like the meat of raw meat, which most people don't, right? Meat gets spiced and therefore it has a certain flavor. And the same spicing process can happen with chickpeas, lentils, really beans, etc. And so the magic really is in the spice. It's not in the meat. It's just that meat historically was seen as like, if you're going to a restaurant, it feels like a treat. So the restaurant puts all their effort into spicing their meat dishes and the non-meat dishes are left to the side. So really explore spices. There's a ton of cultural heritage from India, from Thailand, from North Africa around spicing vegetarian food and making it taste great.